Hi there guys, I'm Nikhil from GreedyTech, and in this video, I'll be showing you the best features of Realme 5 Pro. By the way guys, I've already made a dedicated video for the tips and tricks section where I've talked about many things which I won't be covering in this video. So definitely check out that video, link will be in the description. Now with that said, I want to first start off with performance. Now this phone supports a Snapdragon 712 processor with Adreno 616 GPU with LPDDR4X RAM and UFS 2.1 storage. These are the Antutu and Geekbench scores. When it comes to performance, there isn't a huge difference between this phone and the previous Realme phone, but still, it is one of the most powerful processors in this price segment. Now the next best thing about this phone is definitely its display. This phone sports a 6.3-inch IPS display with a dewdrop notch with Full HD Plus resolution with 19.5:9 aspect ratio, 450 nits of brightness, and it's also protected by a 2.5D curved Corning Gorilla Glass. Now, the display's picture quality is pretty good, blacks are pretty deep, color reproduction is good, and the display is quite bright. Now, the next best thing about this phone is definitely that VOOC fast charging. Unlike any other phone in this price segment, this phone supports VOOC charging, comes with a VOOC charger inside the box with a maximum output of 20 watts. Now in terms of performance or the charging speeds, this is pretty similar to dash charging from the OnePlus phones. It can give you up to 50% of charge in just 30 minutes. Next, this phone also comes with a super fast fingerprint scanner. It is super fast and pretty accurate and as good as any other phone out there. Next, you also get a super fast face unlock feature. Just like all other Oppo and Vivo phones, even this phone has a super fast face unlock feature and it works really well. In good lighting conditions, I couldn't even see the lock screen most of the time. Even in low lighting conditions, it works and it is pretty fast. Even in complete darkness, it works and it is quite usable. We can also use face unlock feature to unlock locked applications and private safe, which is a rare thing to see. Next, this phone also has some pretty good cameras. On the rear, it is a 48 megapixel primary camera with Sony IMX586 sensor with f1.79 aperture. For selfies, it is a 16 megapixel camera with Sony IMX471 sensor with f2.0 aperture. These are some sample shots. Next, we also get a dedicated Ultra 48MP mode. Now this phone has a 48 megapixel camera, but by default, you get 12 megapixel pictures. But for some reason, if you want to take a 48 megapixel picture, you can do that in this mode. Next, we have Ultra Macro mode. This phone comes with a dedicated 2 megapixel macro camera, which obviously allows you to take macro shots. So if you're someone who likes to take macro shots or 2 close-up shots, you can use this Ultra Macro mode. Next, this phone also comes with an 8 megapixel ultra wide angle camera with f2.25 aperture and 119-degree field of view. Now these are some sample shots. Next we have NIGHTSCAPE, which is like a dedicated low light mode which allows you to take better pictures even in low lighting conditions. These are some sample shots. Next we have CHROMA mode. Now this is a very unique feature available only on this phone or Realme and Oppo phones. Once you turn it on, everything will pop out, colors will look super saturated and images will look very pleasing. Next we have portrait mode for both the front and rear cameras. Now this isn't a very big feature, it's been around for many years, so I won't talk about much. These are some sample shots. Next we also have a dedicated face beauty mode. Now this brings in a lot of cool features like it can smoothen your skin, make your face thinner and even smaller, and do all sorts of crazy stuff. Have a look at this. Next, this phone also supports slow motion video recording. This phone can record at 120fps at 1080p resolution, 240fps at 720p resolution, and an insane 960fps at 720p resolution. Here's a quick sample. Next, this phone has electronic image stabilization for both the front and rear camera video recording. This applies only at 1080p, and here's a quick sample. Next, this phone has support for recording video in 4K resolution. You can change the video resolution from the toggles at the top. Now here's a sample footage recorded in 4K resolution, downscaled to 1080p. Next, we have some cool camera gestures. For the rear camera, it has just one gesture, that's tap to take pictures. Just enable this feature and touch the preview window to take a picture. Now for the front camera, it also has the palm gesture, and once you enable this feature, whenever your phone sees your palm, it takes a picture in 2 seconds. This feature is really handy for taking selfies. Next, it has something called real sound technology. Now if you want to improve the audio experience on the headset, just enable real sound technology from the sound settings, and you will definitely see a noticeable difference. We have a new navigation gesture called swipe from both sides. Now once you enable this feature, you can swipe from the bottom to go home, swipe and hold for recent taps, and finally swipe from the left side or right side to go back a step. These are the new swipe gestures even seen on Android 10, and it's already available on this phone. Next, we have the old style swipe up gestures. Now once you enable this feature, you can swipe from the bottom right or bottom left corner to go back a step. You can swipe from the center to go home, and finally you can swipe and hold from the bottom center for recent taps. Even these gestures work really well. Next, we have Android Pie based navigation bar. Now with this, you just get 2 buttons at the bottom, back button and home button. Back button acts like a regular back button. Now home button is special. You can click it to go home. You can swipe up on the home button to go to the recent apps page, and you can swipe the home button right side to quickly switch between applications. It's a pretty cool feature, but doesn't work properly on this phone, so I'd suggest you to stick with the regular navigation bar or with the navigation gestures. Now going on next, we have a super handy shortcut to trigger Google Assistant with the power button. Once you enable this feature, you can long press the power button to trigger Google Assistant. It's a nice feature and can be quite useful while using the navigation gestures, but I don't think this power button will last longer if you use it continuously. Next, this phone even has support for dual 4G and dual VoLTE. Now this is a SIM card tray, and obviously it has support for dual SIM, and along with that it has support for dual 4G and dual VoLTE. So you can use 2 SIMs in 4G or 2 SIMs in VoLTE, like even 2 Geo SIMs on the same phone without any issues. Next, this phone even supports native video calling. Here's a quick preview. Next, it even has a dedicated SD card slot. Nowadays, most of the phones do offer a dedicated SD card slot, but for a phone with this configuration at this price, with all these features, it's quite rare. Next, we have 3-finger screenshot. Now before I show you that, let me show you how to take a normal screenshot. On any Android phone, if you want to take a screenshot, press the volume down button and power button both at the same time, and your phone will take a screenshot. It is as simple as that. Now for some reason, if that's a bit difficult for you, or if you need something more easy, you can enable this 3-finger screenshot gesture. Now once you enable this feature, you can simply swipe down using 3 fingers to take a screenshot. Personally, this is my favorite feature or my favorite way to take a screenshot, and nowadays most of the phones support this feature. Now going on next, we have long screenshot. Now to take a longer screenshot, first you need to take a normal screenshot. You can either use the buttons or the gesture. Now once you take a screenshot, you get this preview. Now click long screenshot. Now just scroll the page up as long as you want to take a longer screenshot. Next, we have a feature called Vibrate when you answer an end call. Just like the name suggests, every time you answer a call or end a call, your phone vibrates. It's not a big feature, but adds to the overall experience. Next, we have a feature that identifies unknown numbers. Once you enable this feature, whenever you get a call from any unknown number, your phone will check its online database and try to find the contact name. This can be quite useful to check spam calls. Next, we have a feature called Screen On End Calls with Power Button. Once you enable this feature, you can end calls by pressing the power button when the display is on. When the display is off, clicking the power button just turns on the display. Next, we have some screen off gestures, like double tap to wake. Just enable it and double tap the screen to wake it up. Next, you can draw an O to open the camera application. We can also draw a V to toggle the torch. We can also draw characters like greater than or less than for music controls. And finally, you can add custom gestures like you can draw a W to open WhatsApp, M for phone dialer, and so on. Next, we have one-handed mode. You can enable this feature from the toggles, and once you click on it, screen size will shrink and your phone becomes much more usable one-handed. Once you're done, you can click the button on the top corner to go full screen. Next, we have grayscale mode. Once again, you can access this feature from the toggles, and once you enable it, display goes completely black and white. You can use it as a prank or just use it while reading a book on your phone. Next, we have digital well-being. Now, this is a feature from Google that tracks all your usage on your phone and gives you a complete analysis of which apps you're using more, and then helps you limit your usage and block notifications from those applications. Next, we have wind down. This feature is part of digital well-being, which can help you sleep faster at night. Using this feature, you can schedule your phone to turn on grayscale mode and do not disturb mode automatically at a specific time. Next, we have OSIE visual effect. This feature slightly improves the picture quality of the display by making content from apps like TikTok, VIBRATE, and more look more pleasing. It does work, but right now only few applications support it, and it does drain your battery. Now going on next, this phone has a very unique feature called Smart Sidebar. It is enabled by default, and this is how it looks like. You have some quick shortcuts, quick actions, and some quick applications. You can access it from anywhere. Even while watching videos or playing games in full screen mode, you can swipe near the notch area to bring it up. From here, you can quickly launch applications, take a screenshot, record the screen, block banner notifications, and finally open few applications in a floating window. Next, we have Assistive Ball. Now, just in case if navigation gestures are not really your thing, but you still want a much more immersive experience, you can enable Assistive Ball. Once you enable this feature, you'll see a floating bubble that can do multiple actions. Now first, you need to select the operation mode. You have gestures and tap mode. I'll go with gestures. Now you can tap once to go back, double tap for multitasking, and touch and hold to go home. If you select tap, once you click it, you just get additional options, just like the iPhones and iPads. Now this is another way to interact with your phone and gives you a much more immersive experience. Next, we have raise to wake. Now once you enable this feature, you can simply raise your phone or pick it up from a table, and your phone wakes up and then displays the lock screen. Next, we have some smart call features, where your phone automatically answers the call when you place the phone near your ear, switch on the speaker when you move your phone away from your face, and finally mute the incoming call if you flip the phone. These are definitely handy and you should give it a try yourself. Next, we have an app lock built into the system, and unlike most phones, we can unlock locked applications either by using the password or the fingerprint scanner, and even by using the face unlock feature. So if you're already using face unlock feature on your phone, most of the time you won't even see the lock screen. Now because of this one particular feature, you can lock any application you want and you won't be inconvenienced in any way. Now going on next, you also have the option to record calls automatically on your phone. So to enable that, go to settings, then select system apps, then select calls. From here, select call recording, and then enable the toggle that says all recording to record all the calls automatically on your phone. Next, we have night shield. Now once you enable this feature, it puts a warm tint on the screen and thereby filters the blue light. According to research, blue light emitted by our displays affects sleep at night. So to prevent that, we have this night shield mode, and you can enable it manually or schedule it to automatically turn on or turn off at a specific time. Next, we have Startup Manager. Now just like the name suggests, it's a feature that allows you to stop applications from auto starting in the background. Now most of these applications automatically start in the background and then drain your battery life. And for the most part, just applications like maybe Instagram or WhatsApp needs to be allowed to auto start. So you can disable auto start permission for all these applications and further improve the battery life. Next we have Wi-Fi tethering. Now this is a very unique feature which allows you to share existing Wi-Fi connection to other devices. It's like your regular hotspot, but instead of using your mobile data, it will use your existing Wi-Fi connection. Now you might think this might not be a useful feature, but let's say if you're in an airport or a hotel where you have access to only one device or a Wi-Fi, then in that situation, you can share the existing single Wi-Fi connection to multiple devices. Next, we have a security feature which protects your personal information. Whenever any application tries to read your personal information like messages, call logs, and contacts, this feature provides fake data to those applications. Many applications on your phone try to read your personal information. Even Amazon does that. So using this feature, we can still use those applications safely without sharing your personal information. Next, we have clone apps, which is a feature that allows you to use two instances of the same application. Like you can have two WhatsApp accounts, two Facebook accounts, and two Instagram accounts on the same phone. This is definitely a very handy feature, but it is still limited to only very few applications. Let's say if I want to use two Paytm accounts on the same phone, we can't do that. Next we have Game Space. Now this feature or application just tries to improve your gaming experience and gives you a lot more cool features. Now once you add all your games to this Game Space and then open that game, your phone will divert all the resources to improve your gaming experience. It means faster game load speeds, better visuals, and more than that, it gives you the option for Do Not Disturb mode, where you won't be interrupted with annoying notification sounds or visual disturbances like banner notifications. You also have different power profiles to improve the performance or battery life. It also gives you the option to disable auto brightness, which is missing on many phones out there. Next we have split screen mode. Now split screen mode has been on Android for a very long time, but on this phone, we have some more features. Now to start a split screen mode, as always, you can simply press and hold the recent tabs button. Or on this phone, you can also use the 3-finger gesture. Simply swipe up using 3 fingers to open the current application in a split screen mode. You can choose a secondary application from the list below. Personally, I like this gesture and I wish every other phone has it. Next we have anti-harassment. This feature allows you to block annoying spam calls or just block a specific contact or bunch of contacts from calling you or messaging you. Next we have automatic on-off. Now this is another weird name for schedule power on and power off, and using these settings, we can automatically turn on and turn off your phone at a specific time. Next we have something called Smart Assistant on your default launcher or your default home screen. You can simply go to the leftmost corner to find the Smart Assistant, which simply displays weather information, calendar events, and some quick shortcuts. You can enable it or disable it from here. Now going on next, this one even comes with screen recording. I really don't know why you want to record your screen, especially on an Android phone, but for some reason if you want to record it, you can start it from the notification toggles, or you can also use the smart bar, which can be accessed from anywhere by swiping on the right side corner. You can stop recording by clicking the stop button on the floating bubble. Next we have Smart Energy Saver. Now this is another feature to improve your battery life. If you enable it, your phone will automatically manage all the apps running in the background to improve the battery life. If you disable it, you get the complete list of applications that are installed on your phone, and you can manually choose to block an application from running in the background. Next we have Smart Driving. This is another fancy sounding feature which simply gives you various features to manage calls and messages while driving. We have a similar feature on many other phones, but on this phone, we can automatically enable it or turn it on when you connect your Bluetooth in your car, or else you can manually turn it on if you have a bike. Next we have Kid Space. If your kid is troubling you about your phone, he wants to play some games, or maybe sometimes he accidentally purchases stuff, Kid Space can be quite useful for you. Once you configure this Kid Space, your kid will be able to only use specific applications that you choose, and he will be able to use your phone only for a specific amount of time. Once again, it's a nice feature, but if your kid already knows your password, it's completely useless. Next we have Private Safe. Now this feature is more like an application or like a vault where you can hide all kinds of files. Just like the app lock, we can have a completely different password from your lock screen, and we can unlock it using your fingerprint or your facial data. Personally, I suggest you to use Gallery Vault. So guys, those were all the best features. If I missed out on anything important, do let me know by commenting below this video, and make sure you check out my video on tips and tricks section. Link will be in the description. Now, if you're planning to buy this phone, please use the link in the description. It always helps the channel. And if you want us to make any specific video, tweet out to us with the hashtag AskGreedyTech on Twitter and I'll try to make it as soon as possible. I'm Nikhil from GreedyTech signing off. Have a nice day.